"We invited your daughter for Christmas." Mom said it like she was announcing crackers and cranberry sauce. I didn't answer. I just stared at the fairy lights in their window and felt my throat close, like my body had decided breathing was optional. "She's not my daughter," I said finally. "She's the result of what happened to me. And if she's inside that house on Christmas Day, I'm not." Mum's face flickered, hurt then stubborn. "Mark, she's 17. She has nobody left." I laughed once, sharp and ugly. "So your plan is to fix her loneliness with my trauma?" That's when Mum whispered the part that turned my stomach. "She's already been here." My hands went cold on the steering wheel. "What?" "I met her weeks ago." Mum's voice cracked. "She messaged me. I didn't know what to do." Behind the kitchen curtains, Dad moved back and forth, oblivious that a war had just started on the driveway. Mum reached for her phone. "She sent proof. She—" "Don't," I snapped. "No photos." Mum flinched like I'd slapped her. "You don't understand. She's been apologizing for existing." I slammed my palm on the horn so hard it blared. Too loud for a quiet street. "And you thought the solution was Christmas dinner?" Mum blinked, tears in her lashes. "I thought the solution was family." I threw the car into reverse. "You can have a granddaughter," I said, shaking. "Or you can have a son. You don't get both." I backed down the drive and left her standing there in slippers, crying like I was the one doing something unforgivable. Christmas was 10 days away. That night my phone buzzed. Mum, Dad, Mum again. I let it ring until it stopped. Then a text came through, a screenshot. A Facebook message from a profile picture with a dog filter. "Hi, I think your son might be my dad. Can we talk?" Under it, my mum's reply. "Hot chocolate sounds nice. Annex." My stomach rolled. My mum had signed off with an X, like she was already hers. I called Mum back because rage is still a form of love. "She's coming to Christmas," Mum said quietly. "Even if you don't." "You promised me," I said. "You promised yourself," she shot back, then immediately softened. "Mark, listen, her grandparents died. Both of them. Carla's gone too." Hearing the name of the woman who did it, Carla, hit like a door slamming. "Don't," I warned. Mum's voice dropped into that careful tone she uses when she thinks that she's walking across broken glass. "She's in a bedsit with a space heater that barely works. She's 17, Mark. She has your surname on her birth certificate and nothing else." "And what do you want me to do?" I hissed. "Show up and pretend my worst night didn't create her?" Silence. Then Mum said, almost a whisper, "She thinks you left because you didn't want her." That sentence landed differently, not guilt. Something sharper. Unfairness so intense it felt like nausea. "Did you tell her?" I asked. Mum swallowed. "I told her you've been through something awful." I didn't tell her what. I paced my kitchen under the cheap overhead light, hands shaking so badly. I kept opening and closing the same drawer like it might contain a new reality. "Then you're giving her hope," I said. "And you're giving me panic attacks." "Please," Mum said. "Just write to her. One letter. No meeting. Just let her know she isn't hated." I stared at the wall until my jaw ached. "Fine," I said. "One letter, no photos, no surprise visits. And if she's there on Christmas, I'm not." I hung up before my voice broke. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I was 19 again, stuck in a club bathroom, bash shaking the tiles, my brain screaming while my body didn't move fast enough. I'm not going to describe it. All you need to know is, I said no. It didn't matter. After that night, nothing happened to Carla. Nothing happened for me, except a government letter months later that changed my life in black ink. Paternity confirmed. Maintenance required. For years, money left my account like a monthly reminder. You don't get to be free. When the payments finally ended, I thought I'd survived it. Then Lily found my mum, and my parents decided to invite my trauma to Christmas dinner. The next morning, 9 days of Christmas, I forced myself to write the letter. I didn't write poetry. I didn't write a speech. I wrote the clean truth because that's all I had. "Dear Lily, I'm sorry you've been alone. I need you to know something difficult. Your mum hurt me badly when I was young. I've spent years trying to heal from it. That's why I haven't been in your life. Not because you did anything wrong. Not because you aren't worth knowing. Right now, I can't meet in person. I'm not ready. But you are not a problem. You never were? Mark." My hand cramped by the end. I drove to my parents' house, shoved the sealed envelope into Mum's hands, and walked back out before I could change my mind. 2 hours later, my phone rang. Mum's voice was thin. "She's reading it." I swallowed. "Okay." "She's crying, Mark." Guilt hit hard and fast. "That wasn't the point." "I know," Mum sniffed, "but she keeps saying, I didn't know." My stomach dropped. "She didn't know what?" Mum's voice cracked. "She didn't know her mum did anything. She thought you were a deadbeat who ran." I sat down so fast my chair scraped. Mum continued, urgent now. "Mark, she asked if she could write back. She said she doesn't want anything from you. She just wants you to know she's not her." I closed my eyes. "Fine," I said. "She can write back, but I'm not meeting, not yet." There was a beat of silence. Then Mum said, too casually, like she was trying to slide a knife in without me noticing. "And she also asked if she could drop it off herself." My eyes snapped open. "What?" "She said she wanted to put it in your hands," Mum murmured. Mark, she knows where you live." My blood went ice cold. "How?" Mum didn't answer. "Mum," I said, voice flat now, dangerous. "How does she know where I live?" A long pause, then barely audible. "I gave her your address." The room spun. "You did what?" "She was crying," Mum said quickly, words tripping over each other. "She said she didn't want to be a ghost to you. She asked if you were real, if you existed." I thought. "You thought what?" My voice rose until it shook. "That you could force this?" That you could make my front door the next club bathroom? I'm sorry, Mom whispered. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I hung up so hard my finger hurt, and then my phone buzzed again. Not Mom. A notification. Family group chat. I hadn't opened it in months. I clicked it without thinking. At the top was a photo. A Christmas-themed selfie. Mom, Dad, and a girl with brown hair and big eyes holding a mug of hot chocolate. Captioned, "So happy to have Lily with us this year. Family is everything." My throat closed completely. Under it, relatives reacted like it was a puppy adoption. "Bless you for taking her in." Mark must be so excited. "OMG, she looks like you." And there it was, the detonation I couldn't unsee. My mom hadn't just invited Lily, she'd announced her. To everyone, with my name hanging off it like bait. Christmas was 8 days away, and my parents had already decided how the story ended. That night there was a knock at my flat door. I froze so hard my whole body locked. The knock came again, softer. I didn't move. Then I heard a voice through the door, quiet, shaking, trying to be brave. "Mark, it's Lily. I'm sorry, I didn't know where else. I just wanted to give you the letter." My stomach turned. The handle didn't move. She didn't try to come in. Just a long pause, and then, "I'm leaving it on the mat. You don't have to open the door. I swear." I stood there in the dark, back against the wall, heart hammering like it was trying to escape. I heard papers slide, footsteps retreat, then silence. I waited a full minute before I opened the door. On the mat was an envelope, with my name written in shaky handwriting. Under it, worse, was a small gift bag. Inside was a cheap ornament shaped like a spaceship, and a sticky note. "Anne said you like sci-fi. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. You don't have to keep it." My eyes burned, because it wasn't demanding. It wasn't entitled. It was a kid trying to be careful with a bomb she didn't build. I took the envelope inside, locked the door, and sat on the floor with my back against it like it might save me from the past. Then I opened the letter. "Dear Mark, I'm sorry for messaging. I'm sorry for making it hard. I'm sorry for existing. I didn't know what my mom did, I swear. I thought you left because you hated me. So I tried to become someone worth not hating. I got good grades. I stayed quiet. I didn't cause problems. I tried to be small. I'm not asking you to be my dad. I'm asking for the truth. I just wanted to know you're real. Lily." My vision blurred. That one line, "worth not hating," did something to my body that years of avoidance hadn't. It made Lily real. Not a concept, not a direct debit, a person. And the most brutal part? She didn't sound like Carla. She sounded like me. I did what I always do, and I can't breathe. I made it practical. I opened my notes app and wrote, "What I can do, email only, no photos, no surprise visits. Therapy. Clear boundaries. What I can't, pretend it didn't happen. Let my parents write the narrative. Be cornered." Then I did the scariest thing I could do without leaving my house. I created a new email account with a random name. I typed her email address, stared at it, almost closed the laptop. Then I wrote, "Hi Lily, I read your letter. You don't have to apologize for existing. I can't meet in person right now, but I can email. If you're okay with slow, we can start there. Mark." My finger hovered, then I hit send before fear could vote. Her reply came in 9 minutes. "Hi Mark. Thank you. I wasn't sure you'd ever answer. Email is perfect. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Also, I'm sorry about the door thing. I swear I didn't mean to scare you." 3 exclamation points. Like hope was loud. And for the first time since Mom said, "We invited your daughter," I felt something other than panic. I felt control. 7 days to Christmas. Dad called. He didn't shout. He didn't guilt trip. He just said carefully, "Your mom says you've been emailing." Yeah, a pause, then. "The group chat. That was your mom. Not me. I didn't know she posted it until after." My grip tightened on the phone. "So you're just letting her do it?" Dad exhaled. I should have stopped it. That admission, tiny, overdue, hit harder than any apology. Then he said quieter, "Does this mean you'll come Christmas Day?" My chest tightened. "Emails aren't a dinner table," I said. "I know," Dad said, "but she's been telling Lily you're coming." My stomach dropped. "She what?" Dad's voice cracked. "She promised her. She keeps saying, 'He'll see you and he'll understand.' Like it's a film." My hands shook again. Mom hadn't just crossed my boundary. She'd built Lily a staircase out of my spine. "If Lily thinks I'm coming," I said slowly, "it's because Mom told her I was." Dad went quiet. Then, almost like a confession, "Your mom thinks if she can just get you in the same room, it'll fix it." "It won't," I said. "It'll just explode." "I know," Dad whispered. "I'm sorry." When we hung up, I stared at my calendar. Christmas Day empty, and I imagined my parents' house without me. My mom crying into gravy. My dad pretending it was fine. And Lily sitting there, thinking I still wasn't worth showing up for. I hated that thought. Not because I owed her fatherhood, because I knew exactly what it felt like to be the unwanted person in the room. 3 days to Christmas. I texted Mom. "If you told Lily I'm coming, you need to tell her the truth, not your version." "The truth," Mom replied instantly. "Please, just come. She'll be heartbroken." I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. Then I wrote, "You already heartbroke her by promising something you had no right to promise." No reply for 10 minutes. Then, "I'm sorry," just those 2 words. No excuse. No but. For the first time, it sounded like she meant it. Christmas morning, I drove to my parents' house with my hands shaking on the wheel and one wrapped gift on the passenger seat. A book Lily had mentioned in an email. Old sci-fi. Impossible to find cheap. I sat in the car outside their house for a full minute, breathing like I'd just run from something. Because I had. Myself. Mom opened the door the second I stepped onto the path. Her eyes were red like she'd been crying since dawn. She's in the living room, Mom whispered. If this is too much, you can leave. No one will stop you. The kindness finally almost broke me. Mom grabbed my arm gentle. Before you go in, she said, voice shaking. I need to say this clearly because I've been awful. I didn't speak. She swallowed hard. I posted that photo. I gave her your address. I told her you were coming when I didn't know. I tried to force a happy ending because I couldn't stand watching her be alone. Tears spilled. And I did it at your expense. My throat tightened. Mom looked up at me like she was seeing me again. I'm sorry, she whispered. I don't get to fix this by pretending. I have to fix it by listening. If you say leave, I'll tell her it's my fault and I'll carry it. Dad appeared behind her, face gray. Same, he said. We were wrong. For a second, I couldn't move, because that was the first time in 17 years anyone had said the quiet truth out loud. What happened to me mattered, and not in a poor you way, in a boundary way, in a reality way. I nodded once because my voice didn't work. Then I walked down the hallway. The house looked the same as always, but my body didn't. In the living room, Lily stood up so fast she nearly tripped over the rug. For a second, we just stared at each other. We were both afraid to be real. Hi, she said, small. My mouth went dry. Hi, I managed. Merry Christmas. She nodded like she'd been practicing that exact moment for years. I held out the gift before my courage ran out. I got you this, I said. She unwrapped it slowly, like she didn't trust good things not to vanish. When she saw the cover, her face changed. Eyes bright, then wet. No way, she breathed. You remembered. I swallowed hard. You told me. She pressed the book to her chest like it was proof I wasn't a myth. And something in my ribs loosened. Not forgiveness, not peace. Just a tiny unlocking. Dinner was hard. Not because she was there. Because my mind kept trying to drag me back to that bathroom. I excused myself once, stood in the kitchen, gripping the counter, breathing through it. When I came back, Lily didn't ask questions. She just slid my plate closer so I didn't have to reach. A small gesture, thoughtful, not demanding. And I realized something terrifying. She wasn't trying to take. She was trying not to break me. After dinner, I stepped outside, into the freezing garden, needing air. A minute later, the back door creaked. Is it okay if I'm out here? Lily asked. I nodded. Yeah. She stood beside me, hands shoved into her sleeves. After a long silence, she said quietly, I'm not mad at you. I looked at her. You should be. She shook her head. I'm mad at the right person. I just can't anymore because she's gone. I didn't know what to say to that. So I told the truth. I'm scared, I admitted. She nodded like she understood. Me too. And that was the moment. Not a big speech. Not a miracle. Just two people in cold air, both saying the same thing. Then Lily swallowed and said, almost inaudible, Can I call you Dad? Just once, to see how it feels. If it makes you feel sick, I won't ever do it again. My heart stopped. That was the difference between my mom and Lily. My mom forced, Lily asked. I stared at the frost on the grass until the world steadied. Then I nodded once. Okay, I said. Lily's voice cracked. Dad. It wasn't triumphant. It wasn't cinematic. It sounded like a kid testing a word on her tongue to see if it burned. My eyes stung. Yeah, I said, voice rough. I'm here. That night, back in my flat, I opened my laptop and stared at an email draft to her. My cursor blinked like a heartbeat. I typed, Thank you for today. You made it easier by not pushing. I'm going to start therapy. I'm going to learn how to do this without drowning. I can't promise a perfect version of me. I can promise I won't disappear. I stared at it. Then, without thinking too hard, I signed, Love, Dad. My stomach flipped immediately. Too much, too soon, undo it, but my finger hit send anyway. This time her reply didn't come in 9 minutes. It came in 30 seconds. Dad, you mean it? I stared until my eyes burned. Then I typed the only honest thing I had. I'm here, and I'm going to try. And if Christmas can exist after what happened, then maybe I can too. The next morning, I pulled the therapist card from my wallet, the one I'd been pretending didn't exist. My hands shook as I dialed. Hello, Dr. Thompson's office. Hi, I said, voice rough. I need an appointment. Something bad happened a long time ago, and I think I just became someone's dad. I hung up and sat there, breathing. For the first time in years, it didn't feel like Carla had written the ending for my life. It felt like I finally got a pen back. And this time, I wasn't writing alone.